So here's another scenario where we think about our different steps, and depending on what we want to achieve in a shot, we can change our ISO, aperture or shutter speed to actually give us exactly what we want. So in this case, I've got a boxing bag set up, and I've got Eric that I want to capture him boxing. Now, I'm not sure if I want to get the action of the shot where I can see a little bit of movement in the arm, or if I actually want to freeze it all and stop it. So what I'm going to start with is an ISO of 100, and I'm going to try and shoot this with a little bit of movement. So in order to get movement in a shot, we use shutter speed, and the shutter speed needs to be slow enough to catch the movement, but not too slow that it looks completely too blurry. So I'm going to pick a shutter speed of 1/15 of a second and take a shot focusing on Eric's eyes at f2.8. So because I want my background to be slightly out of focus. He's still going to be the hero of the shot, but I'm using shutter speed to actually capture movement in this shot. So I'm focusing on Eric's eyes. I've got my ISO set to 100, and I'm going to shoot at f2.8. Now the problem with that is, when my ISO is set to 100 at a 15th of a second at 2.8, there's too much light in the shot to shoot at 15th of a second. So aperture, f-stop, ISO all affect light. So I need to change one. Now in this instance, I want to get the slight movement in his arm, so I can't change the shutter speed. I'm already at 100 ISO, I can't drop it any lower, so the only variable left is aperture. So I'm at 2.8, I can go up slightly in my aperture to drop the amount of light that is hitting my sensor and still get the shot at a 15th of a second. So when I change it to f5.6, that gives me, I'll just show you a reading at what f2.8 looks like. It's way over. There's way too much light in that shot. Too bright. So can't change my ISO. Don't want to change my shutter speed. So I'm going to change my f-stop. And in this case, I'm going to shoot at f5.6. All right. And now we've got the right exposure, okay? And so I'm going to shoot Eric now, punching the bag. I want a little bit of movement so the shot looks more dynamic and there's a bit more energy. So we'll go on 3, ready, 1, 2, 3, punch. And again, 1, 2, we'll just stop the bag, and ready, 1, 2, 3, punch. All right, so let's have a look. So have a look how dynamic that looks. We've got the energy of the bag sort of swinging, and we've got his hand just slightly out of focus, and in there you can see the impact. All right, let's change it up a bit and let's see how that looks if we speed up the shutter speed and the difference in that. So if I want to now freeze the action and get that moment of impact and not have any movement, I make my shutter speed faster. So I'm going to go up to 1/400th of a second. Now the problem is I'm at 5.6, there's not enough light, but I can let more light in. I can open up my aperture again and go back to f2.8, and at 400, a shutter speed of 400, it's not enough light. Let me just show you what that looks like. There's not enough light. So if I still want to maintain my shutter speed of 400 and I want to shoot at f2.8 and I'm on an ISO of 100, I want to keep the shutter speed the same. I can't open up any more on my aperture. I can change my ISO. So I'm going to go up in ISO So let's try at 400. Looking better, but it's still not bright enough for me, so I'm going to go up to 800 so I get that nice white background, and it all looks good, and then I can shoot at 1/400th of a second. So I'm just going to go up to 800 ISO now. There we go. Take another shot. All right. So now we've just improved the overall look of the shot. I've got f2.8, I'm shooting at 800, I've got my background looking good, and I've got a really fast shutter speed so that when Eric has a swing at the bag, we're going to freeze the action. So let's have another go now. Ready? 1, 2, 3. And again, 1, 2, 3. Okay, just box, I'll just catch you now. Go. Keep going. All right, so have a look. Because we're shooting at a faster shutter speed, we're actually freezing the bag, freezing his hand, and stopping all the motion. All right, now if I wanted to actually freeze it exactly, I need to be going a lot faster. So let's try 1/800th of a second. Now, in order to do that, I can't open up my f-stop anymore. I'm going to have to adjust my ISO a little bit higher so I can shoot faster. So I'm at an ISO of 800. I'm going to take my ISO up to 1600. And then that allows me to shoot at 1/800th of a second. Okay, so go ahead and, hang on. Yep, go ahead, box. All right, and now we've got super sharp shots. We're actually freezing the frame, freezing the bag, no movement because we've got such a fast shutter speed.